providing them or giving them an opportunity to provide a better life. On the contrary, if you just look today, if you create an asset and you do not have the proper capability of planning for management, you just an example of China, in which there are so many ghost cities are there, particularly the crisis of Jabalna, which is being created. I think this is one of the examples of that you create an asset and you are not having any plan to manage. There are 26 railway stations in China today in which not even a single train goes. So it is for them to decide that how it was managed. But how it is being decided and the assets were managed, even the liabilities were converted into an asset. Sri Nitin Gadkari ji has given an example. I just give you 3 examples. Number one, the eastern part of India is having the probability of heavy rains in the rainy season. So there is a problem of flooding. So what happened? The dredging was done in the rivers and they were made deep, and then all these things were used for inland waterways transportation, in which the cost and damage to the environment becomes almost 1/10. So that's how you create a liability to an asset. There was a problem, but you have finally very well managed that. Second example was when he became minister, our coastal line is one of the biggest in the world. But what happened? We are having a dogma that the ports can only be used for export and import. But then he connected all the roads on the coastal line of India and created a Sagarmala project. Well designed roads. So not only the road transportation, but the oceanic transportation was also used for the domestic purpose. So that's how you utilize your asset. Third example can be India is a country which is having biggest liability of foreign exchange for oil and petroleum. But on the other hand, we are one of the biggest countries which produce sugarcane. So ethanol blending was a new concept, and before our government came, it was hardly 0.1 or 0.2%. Now it is 10-15% has come, and within a few years it will be 20% blending. So Nitin uses to give this idea when he was party president. We are not in the government, we were in the opposition, but he was having a firm vision how ethanol blending can transform better for the environment and better for the foreign exchange. That's how you manage your assets and get. And finally, I would like to say, all countries have various dimensions of asset management: infrastructure, power, oil, industries, other things. But one asset which India is having, which most of the countries don't have, is our cultural asset. And this cultural asset creates a positive affinity and affection in all the countries of the world. I'd just like to give one example when we talk about the healthcare infrastructure and asset management. For example, yoga was not considered a very serious thing before our government came. And when it was introduced, you know that the FDA of US has done so many of research that we cannot even match up in 2-3 decades or even 5 decades. But if you perform yoga in 75 to 80% of cases, you do not need those pharmaceuticals. So, the manner in which it has transformed the country, particularly in the field of infrastructure, I think it is praiseworthy, and it is not started from here. I remember the first expressway of India was built between Mumbai and Pune. I got the opportunity at the time of inauguration of there in May 2000. Along with Rajnath Singh Ji, at the time he was instrumental in starting that was the first expressway of India. But when we talk about this asset management, I just have a glimpse during my student life when we think of engineering asset management and if it is done efficiently, how it can contribute to the output. I remember there used to be
impoverished communities with a women's self-help initiative that was launched under his inspiring guidance. It enables women from the villages to weave garments out of Sarava Valley, generate knowledge of local employment technology to derive from cloud experiment in 2021. The technique aims to increase the usage of cloud experiment for making environmentally beneficial products. In addition, the product is supposed to help keep the environment clean and bring in more money for farmers. When all industries were shut during the pandemic, Mr. Gadkari was chatting with his countrymen. He conducted webinars at 2,000 plus video conferences during this time. His quick decision making in procuring oxygen, PPE kits, helped those affected by the deadly virus. He generously donated ambulances to NGOs.
Provided. Now, when you take the technology from outside, one of the major things that suffers is the maintenance and asset. Because while you take the technology transfer does not give you the background knowledge, the information, the data about its all kinds of. We are talking about mean time between failure, we are talking about mean time between repairs, repair schedules and things like that. So most of it was missing. And as a result, there is to be breakdown of the pumps, the de-aeration facility, and also chemicals were not being added at the right time and so on. But performance of that facility was there. So one important is that whenever we work on STP, I think STP requires a much better asset management system. Because your load on the plant keeps on varying. I mean, sometimes you have planned for X million tons, it becomes X plus delta X million tons, and you will not trigger for it. So, this is a public asset which requires a much larger vision with respect to its maintenance. But I think we should do what is called condition monitoring of the STP now. Using the present technology, I think there are lots of sensors available, there are lots of computerized systems available today. If we integrate all of them, I think STP performance also can be load for it. Today, actually, we have a problem that the load is much more, the capacity is less. So we should be able to do load for it. These are some of the things.
Thank you, sir.
User perceptions, monitors, prediction, alerts on the worker safety, and enable distributed, visualized, immersive human experience. Third one is technical and environmental aid, which enables the user-centric collaborative governance, enables organizational learning, optimizing business processes, and so on. Now, the most where engineering assessment comply with the safety and environmental standards, it should also ensure that it is adhering to the regulations, reducing risk and safety hazards and environmental hazards. So safety standards and regulations should be taken care of. Environmental compliance should be taken care of. Incident investigation and reporting should be done in a methodical manner, identifying what is the incident, why it happened, and what are the implement corrective actions what have been taken, and basically don't hide, report the incident as it happens. And we should be always emergency prepared, develop emergency plans, train personnel, and test all the emergency plans as part of your asset management strategy. Now, technology is making a tremendous change as far as asset management is concerned. All of us know about asset rotation, who is the manufacturer, what are the manufacturing details, what kind of model it was, and when was it purchased and when it was commissioned. Then there should be a need for us to go for what is the maintenance schedule. We have to develop what every asset development of the maintenance plan, what is the schedule of maintenance, and how do you optimize the maintenance intervals. Because every time when you do maintenance, there is a possibility.
मैंने बोला आपने क्या लाजवाब व्यक्ति हो, पत्नी से भी ज्यादा प्रेम तो आपका फाइल पर है, दबा के बैठे हो। So the fast track decision making process, quality decision making process, transparency, corruption free system, and time bound approach is very important. The teamwork is very important. What is the problem in the government? People who are getting promotion. Before promotion, they are talking decentralization of power and division of work. And when they will be the highest authority, their approach is show me everything. I will make the decision. you will submit with a file. No brilliant officer, he don't want to give any power to his subordinate nor working class. And when he is at a junior level, he always expects at that time that his boss should allow him. But when he is giving the boss, he does not allow. The teamwork is very important. I always give an example with a simple method that A person works A square and B person works B square, the total work is A square plus B square. But when A and B comes together, mix together and burst together, result is A plus B bracket square करते, the result is A square plus B square plus twice AB. And this twice AB is a collective result of each grade. So you should have a team. Today, in my department, the two secretaries of I was telling him, let us start the system. On the your level and our I also feel that the three important pillars of your society is ethics, economy, ecology and economy. And in the development process, 100% it is the time for the country that we need to think on the line that how we are going to protect ecology and economy. The ethics and economy is very important. But this is not a subject today related with our agenda. But the aim of our Prime Minister is to make Indian economy of $5 trillion and make India the third largest economic power in the world. Now, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and for all this thing, we need to have a roadmap, the appropriate vision by which we can fulfill this dream. And I feel that the technology is the key issue. Now the problem is that the technology and the research, what is exactly our priorities, and what type of an approach for that development of the technology is very important. The need-based research, the region-based research, the district-based research, the problems which are there on the basis, the research which type we need for that, where we need to apply our work. And that is exactly the need of the country. We need to increase our export.
Computer management system, conditioning monitoring system, ensuring that the health of any asset and infrastructure is measured during its operation, which will give you a clear idea of how to take care of its life cycle. Now, this is where the technology is coming today, both at the educational institutions and the industry level. I think we will have to integrate all this not only as part of our practice, but as part of our curriculum. If we don't introduce that, then the human resource which is needed for doing this kind of an asset will be missing. And I think IIT Kanpur, under the leadership of Professor Vyas, has done wonderful work in doing the today's integration of technology with the kind of asset management requirements like online monitoring of the conditioning monitoring systems and things like that. In fact, this technology is being used even today for doing the maintenance of the aircrafts and things like that. So I urge upon all the participants today, please bring in the latest technology of drones for monitoring, precision agriculture and things like that. All of them will be bring in today. I think our assets which are going to be created in the next maybe 10 to 15 years, investments are going in a big way, but the announcements are also going to you. Even for this budget, we have 3,60,000 crores worth of assets going to be created. It becomes very important for us to take care of that. And I think this conference, this workshop will go a long way in laying the pathway for doing asset management for India, which is on the journey upwards and down the curve. I wish you all the best in the conference. God bless you.
accepted the technology from Malaysia. That is ultra, what is it called?
Ultra high performance.
Ultra high power concrete. High power. So, distance between two piers is only 30 meters. By this technology, we can make it 120 meters. And the beam in the higher side, we can cast by steel fiber. So, it is a proven technology and we can reduce the cost by 25%. Then, Principal Secretary to Prime Minister and Honorable Secretary come to me. I just give them the presentation. They convinced, and now they are accepting this policy that is going to reduce crores of rupees of corruption. So, using of waste material, accepting the successful practices and new innovative technology for the future, reducing the cost of the project without compromising the quality, and we have to think on the line that long term there will be no maintenance cost. That is to be a correct approach for the future. And we have to make the research on that basis. Today, this World Congress on Engineering Asset Management, where a lot of new innovations and new papers, research papers, new people are doing already good job in it. I am not an engineer, I am not an expert person. Unfortunately, the tragedy in my life, I was not qualified for engineering also. At the time in 75, emergency was there. I was in HSC, so I was working against emergency by appeal of Jayaprakash Narayan. I get 52% marks. And science, I got 49%. So my dream of my family was that I will be an engineer, but I was disqualified for engineering college because the science group percentage was less than 50. Now today I received 9 degrees, but I am not any doctor to give because I always feel that the person who is disqualified for the engineering admission, how he can become a doctor. So I am not the expert. But at practical level, but I feel that there are a lot of new things. For the national interest, in the interest of the sector, we can find out new innovative model which will be the maintenance free, cost effective and good for the future of our country. And the more important thing there, 100%. I know that already people like you are taking preventive measures for that. That is one of the important is proven technology. The proven technology is very important. Second is economic viability. Third is availability of raw material. And fourth is marketability of the finished product. In the world market, in the global market, the world is competitive. And we have a very cautious about the quality. The biggest capital of the 21st century in the whole world is honesty, clarity, quality, actuality, delivery on time, and the professional ethics. It's very important in the trade and business in the whole world. And on the basis of that, you should be very quality conscious. And cost effectiveness is very important. Now when you are talking about the asset management, first of all, I don't want to criticize anybody, but in government, it is really difficult to maintain the assets. If suppose a good officer wants to do it, his subordinate boss will create problems to him and he will not be promoted to work on that. I always tell to my son that you do any business, you don't do business with any government. It may belong to the government. Because the people who are getting salary on the first, they never understand what is to be the person who is facing the problem, taking loan from the bank with the 9 to 10%. What is his problem? मैंने मजाक में मैं भी रिव्यू कर रहा हूँ कल 4 स्टेट का और परसों कल which is unprecedented and which is not possible in any other country in the world. Dr. Saraswat has already spoken about it in his decade lecture just before this ceremony. And when I got to invite
Transport and Highways, and one of my great mentors in a program which I have initiated long back in 2016 on methanol as an alternate fuel. He has been the one who has been supporting it either at the plant or otherwise. I would like to also greet Honorable Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, the Member of Parliament Rajya Sabha. I have often seen him on the television doing discussions with the opposition party, with various other things. And the kind of cohesiveness he discussed in his thinking pattern was visible even during his talk right now. I also would like to greet Professor Joe. I'm not reading the rest of the names because I get mistaken reading that. And Mr. OPC and my very old colleague friend, Shri Vyas. It is indeed a matter which all of us has to worry about today, asset management. Because India is embarking on a major journey of creating the world's best infrastructure. And our Honorable Shri Gadkari is leading the show, as has been brought out in the film, as has been told by many. We are creating roads, we are creating highways, we are creating ports.
Total number to about 19,000 as of date. Mr. Gadkari envisioned water conservation through the construction of highways. Gadkari believes that such innovative measures would bring down the project cost and help many others. Recently, the SOP issued in August 2022 from Environment Ministry on extraction of earth for linear projects like roads or pipelines has recommended the Amrit Sarovar model. Nitin Gadkari ji has received honorary degree of Doctor of Science from Dr. Savitribai Phule Krishi Vidyapeeth and Punjab Foundation Krishi Vidyapeeth in recognition of his admirable contributions. Nitin Gadkari is also driving the initiative of alternative and sustainable construction materials. He has been encouraging the use of modified bitumen made by mixing waste rubber and waste plastic. He is also exploring new technologies like white topping roads in urban high rainfall areas. Such technologies will reduce the operations and maintenance costs of the road, and commuters will be benefited with all-season good quality roads. Nitin Gadkari is on a mission to connect our mountains